Chapter 4 deals with defining the atom and a little bit about atomic structure. The atom is the smallest particle of an element that still retains its identity. Everything is composed of atoms. They are the fundamental particles of all matter. Atoms were first suggested around 400 BC, but modern atomic theory begins with John Dalton. Dalton said an atom is a sphere with no internal structure. And John Dalton in 1808 came up with his atomic theory, and there are 4 postulates to his atomic theory. Number 1, all elements are composed of indivisible particles called atoms. Well, today we know that atoms are composed of protons, neutrons, and electrons. So this statement is not perfectly correct, but the technology at Dalton's time was not there to look at atoms. Number 2, atoms of the same element are identical. So all atoms of oxygen are the same. All atoms of carbon are the same. Well, today we know this is not necessarily true because there are isotopes, which are the same element with different numbers of neutrons, so they have different masses. However, the atoms of one element are different from atoms of another element, so this is a true statement. Number 3, atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratios. For example, water, 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen. Sodium chloride, 1 sodium to 1 chlorine. Sulfur trioxide, 1 sulfur to 3 oxygen. That's true. You can't have 1/2 of an atom combining with 3/4 of another atom. Number 4, atoms of one element are never changed into atoms of another element. So I can't change oxygen into carbon as the result of a chemical reaction. And that's true. In a chemical reaction, all we're doing is rearranging those atoms. So even though some parts of Dalton's atomic theory are not correct as we know them today, I want you to know the 4 postulates in his atomic theory. So know the 4 parts. The radius of most atoms, very small, 10 to the negative 11th, 10 to the negative 10th meters. You cannot see atoms with a regular microscope. You have to use a special instrument called a scanning tunneling microscope in order to view individual atoms. And we don't have one of these instruments here. They are very expensive. So in order to view individual atoms, we need a special instrument, a scanning tunneling microscope.